what's going on YouTube? It's me. Um, I gotta figure out a channel or a name for the channel because if I want to take this seriously, which in the last episode, if you did not watch it, I said I didn't really want to, but you know, no 4-year-old's gonna wake up and be like, oh man, I feel like watching some Raw Man. I made that maybe a year ago. I don't remember. It's alright. Anyway, watching my last video, I made lots of mistakes, lots of problems with it, and I'm gonna fix them in this video. So, one of them, I think, was definitely how I talked, like how fast I talked, and my pronunciation. I don't know if that's how I talk in real life, but it's not very legible. Can't really understand it. So I'll try to talk slower, definitely with some energy. Alright, first thing about the coaster that I'm building. This is not going to be the final color. The color that you see at the end of the video of the coaster, color of the coaster, is not going to be the final thing. I'm still figuring it out. Maybe brown was the option, maybe it should be blue or green. You know, if you have any ideas, you can definitely comment them. You know, I'll read them. I'm not too popular yet. So far, it's been like less than 24 hours since that first video dropped, and it already has like 30 views, which is way better than like I expected it to do. So that's cool. Thank you for everyone who watched it. If you're watching again, definitely like let me know if I should keep on doing this. I probably will finish this B&M Hyper, but I might expand from Planet Coaster because, you know, Planet Coaster YouTubers nowadays don't get too many views or subscribers. Not that like I'm trying to get big, but I'm trying to expand an audience because Planet Coaster is not my only feat. Like I said in the last video, I love music. The music you heard in the last video was a song I made. Maybe it was like June. Oh, it was a while ago, but it's pretty much, I don't know. It fit the vibe for the first video. I'm sure the song will be different. I'll figure it out later. Which song to use, not that I produced. But right now in the coaster building, I'm going back, making sure everything's like shaped kind of correctly. Like this first turn after the drop in the camelback, like halfway through the camelback, that turn, it was profiled weird. I fixed that. Right now I'm figuring out what to do after this, and I kind of made it a little twister spaghetti bowl after the mid-course, and I made like a unique B&M element, kind of like Orion's first element, but you know, you bank at the end of it, so I know, it has a lot of inspiration off of Orion, this coaster. So definitely see some more Orion elements, maybe. Wait, I lied. There aren't going to be any more elements because I'm making it go into the brake run now. And one thing about B&M is they do their brake runs really differently with like different coasters. This one, I could have made it brake like right where the track is, right there, but it would have looked a little weird for B&M, so I just extended the brake. Anyway, finishing up the coaster layout. I'm gonna smooth it after this. I'm gonna put in some supports. You'll see all of it go down. Now, I want to talk about this ending. This ending, it was a little annoying. If you can't see, autocomplete in Planet Coaster is not the best if you're doing it longer than like 2 feet, because it's all it makes it all, I don't even know how to explain it. You gotta watch it, and then when you watch it, you'll understand. You'll see it and be like, oh, that's not how coasters should move on the track. So maybe I'll fix that in the future, but it's not good in the ending. And like even using this firm meter technique, I used it on the ending. It might have helped a little. That's besides the point. Am I satisfied with this coaster? Yes. Are there things I could fix? Yes. You'll see a POV later on in the video. If I care enough to slow it down, I probably will. But you'll be able to see the forces and like some parts I might fix later on. I smoothed the whole coaster with like the same original layout. All the like reprofiling is done to make sure that G-force, nothing will kill you, but there might be some parts that are weird, like the helix before the mid-course. That part, you know, you go into it with like just a little over 4 vertical Gs, and then you go to like 3.5 vertical Gs, and you go back to 4 vertical Gs. It's awkward. Might be able to fix it later. Maybe not. Maybe I won't be able to fix it later. Final product, theme, anything else with this coaster? Nothing in mind. I'll take suggestions from the comments. So I'll be looking there. So if you do have a good idea, because in the end of the video, spoiler alert, I make the coaster colors red and yellow, like ketchup and mustard. So I could just do maybe a McDonald's theme. That would be funny. Like, you know, this is just for fun. It's not like gonna be for a competition. I think here now I'm doing supports. I won't do custom supports for the layout. I only do custom supports for the lift because that's easy. And one thing you'll see with that is the supports are gonna be angled. Like there's gonna be a middle support going like straight vertical, and then the support to the right and support to the left angling towards it. If you ever seen a B&M coaster, it does that, and it does that because to save cement and like cost of cement, because cement's expensive when building these huge coasters. Because if you didn't know, there's like 6 feet of cement that goes underground before you even like see it on the surface. But that's what you gotta do. You gotta pay more money just to have a good ride. Then we might get some like traveling coasters. Don't do that. Traveling coasters have like a lattice structure on the ground. It's like a bunch of rectangles and stuff. Like you could probably like watch an Olympia looping POV, and you'll see the supports. There's no cement. It's all built for travel, which that's something cool and innovative that Schwarzkopf did. Speaking of Schwarzkopf, why are they bringing back their Wildcat? It was never too popular in the first place. They did not build too many. Not too good. It's very random. Anyway, I have a story to tell. It's kind of about Cedar Point. It was during CoasterCon 44 this year. So if you didn't know, CoasterCon, you get a bunch of like perks and bonuses when you go to the park. Like you get ERT and backstage tours like every day that you're at the park. So the first day of CoasterCon was at Cedar Point, and we had nighttime ERT on Maverick and Sylvengeance, which was amazing. But you know, we were riding until like it was late. It's like 1 a.m. We were driving home in Sandusky, and one of the main roads that like rolls off of the peninsula that Cedar Point's on, it has like 3 miles per hour changes. So like it goes from like 55, 25 to 45 in like less than a mile. And you know, my mom, it's my second time maybe that my mom's driving on this road, and you know she's probably going 55 and 25, and there just so happens to be a cop, right? And so the cop pulls her over, and while this is all happening, I'm like on a call with my friends, like on my phone, just talking to them about roller coasters. And when we got pulled over, I'm still on the call, and they can hear everything. And, you know, they're laughing their heads off because 1 a.m. in Sandusky, getting pulled over by police, you know, just hearing that must be fun. But, you know, so after that happened, I didn't get back until like 1:30. That was the story. I got pulled over, and all my friends heard, and yeah, it was kind of like the talk for like the next hour. But okay, that's the end of the story. So onto smoothing. You see, I say 4-meter technique. It's just you select 4 pieces like coaster track and hit smooth all, and then you just move it down 1. Even though the coaster track's not 4 meters, I talked about this in the last video. You should go watch it. Maybe not. It's not the best. I'm sure this will be better. Like to everything. This video is also longer, so But this is like the last kind of chunk of the video. It's just me smoothing. And you will see a POV at the end. But for now, I want to talk about there's something going on in the coaster community. Maybe predictions for any park, I guess, like Cedar Point. Instead of a prediction, my thoughts on Cedar Point's boardwalk. You know, new coaster, Wild Mouse. It's definitely gonna like help with like the whole like areas of like Cedar Point. Like, you know, you got Frontier Town with like Maverick and Steel Vengeance. That fits in perfectly. It's really good. But like, there's no other like main area besides like Planet Snoopy. There's like 2 different kids areas though. They're kind of separated. It doesn't really work. So now that we have the boardwalk, it's kind of like gonna be like another section like Frontier Town. They should definitely add more. But with the coasters that they have, it's gonna be hard to like, I guess, theme an area around them. But just some ideas for a place where like Millennium Forces. There's kind of like no other no, Rougarou's like right across the street. They could like retheme again to like something space themed, and then they just make that like kind of like what Orion is. Back to Orion. Everything comes back to Orion. But it's like Area 72, but whenever you Cedar Point up in yeah, Area 50. That's a little better because it's like, you know, Area 50. It's 50, but Cedar Point could have another area theme to Area 50 because it's like kind of copying Kings Island. It could be good. Maybe Cedar Point wants to be original. We don't know yet. Although they are in the same state. How about I talk about Kennywood, the second park that we went to during CoasterCon. Kennywood's a pretty cool park because like since it's run by like, I don't know who it's run by. It's like family owned. You know, it's not part of the chain like Hershey Park. There's like a lot less like restrictions. Things like there was a backstage tour of Phantom's Revenge, and there was like no like railings to stop you from like jumping off a cliff towards Thunderbolt. Like it was crazy lenient. And like even like with the coasters, like the only coaster that they really make you like get strapped in is like Jackrabbit. Obviously, if you don't know what Jackrabbit is, it's a coaster with an insane double down. What you're watching now is the POV. I hope you enjoyed this video. You know, I know it was just a lot of building and smoothing,